was editing a short-lived TV show called E-Ring, and I got a call. So Sly, at that point, Sly's career had just been in the toilet. There was nothing going on for him, and he apparently had decided he couldn't leave his legacy on Rocky Five, which by all accounts it was a terrible movie. So he set off to make Rocky Balboa as the final chapter and the goodbye to Rocky, and then he started reaching out, and then he reached out to Don Zimmerman, who had been his editor on most of his films in the 80s. He had edited a bunch of Rockies and probably some Rambos and Staying Alive, maybe, I don't know. And nobody wanted to go near it. He tried to hire Chris Wagner, who I guess was going to do it, and then something kind of better came up, and everybody was like, nobody's asking for another fucking Rocky. Like, just don't do it. And so he went after all these big editors, and it just so happened that I had worked with Don on Cat in the Hat, because it was the first movie he was editing on Avid, not Lightworks/Heavyworks. I had already been editing on Avid for years. I was doing a lot of TV movies for USA, and my wife at the time was a post executive at Universal. and she was like, let me introduce you to my husband and see, and so they took me on as sort of like an Avid, I don't know, associate editor kind of thing. And so, Sly called Don to ask him to edit this movie, and Don was like, yeah, I don't want to do that, but you should talk to this kid, Sean. And so he did. So I got a call, and they were like, hey, Sylvester Stallone would like to meet with you. And I'm like, what? And I went and I met with him, and it was an interesting meeting because, I grew up, like, I credit the original Rocky as one of the movies. I think I was like, I don't know, 8 years old or something when I saw that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this moment that I always come back to as a filmmaker. I remember at the end of that movie, I was crying, and I didn't understand why. Like, I understood, like, I was okay. I wasn't in need of anything in particular. And yet I was crying. I've always had that memory of, like, this is this amazing, powerful thing that storytelling does. Like, an 8-year-old kid is crying, and I'm like, I'm happy for him. Why am I crying? And so it was amazing to just get to go and meet the fucking guy. Like, I was like, I grew up in the 80s, like that. He was a hero. And so I sit down, and I had read the script, and he asked me what I thought of the script, and me being me, I said, it's good, but I don't really see an inciting incident. Like, why does he go back to fighting? Like, it seems like he's got a pretty good life. He's got a restaurant, and yeah, he's got a little thing with his kid, but like, and he goes, it's all in here. And I was like, okay. And I came to learn, like, he's a writer who just kind of puts some stuff on paper, but it's not like, he's not writing the way other writers write, of like, you stop to explain how somebody is receiving something or how something may be feeling. He doesn't write that. He just writes words. He just writes dialogue. And so I'm getting no sense as the reader, as to how is this supposed to play emotionally. And it is, for him, it's all in here. And he rewrites constantly. Like, literally, he'll have the camera pointed to that side of the room, and he turns the camera around to this side, and he rewrites the fucking dialogue. So you've got mismatching things going on. So anyway, so we had that, I did that thing, and apparently he appreciated that I had an opinion, and I remember him saying, Albertson, I like the cut of your jib. Let's do this. And that was it.